And then I thought, if I do not do something, that lady is going to have her baby in Jerusalem. And she is going to have it in the street. And it is going to be in front of my inn. I want to go get my wife. You see, my wife is a very wise woman. And I know I cannot ask a guest who has already paid to give up his room. But maybe my wife will see something that I do not see. So I went to get her. She was finishing cleaning the dining couches, and she said, "Oi, so finally you come to help me when the work is already done. What happened to the visitors?" I said, "They are still here. Come and see." She said, "Why should I see visitors? We do not have any room for anyone." I said, "Come, come on." I brought my wife to the door, and I was glad I was standing very close to my wife. Because when I opened the door and she saw the pregnant lady on the donkey, she almost fell over. Do you see what I mean? What can we do for them? She looked up and said, "Oi, merciful God in heaven." She looked at the man and said, "Have you been to the other inns?" He nodded and said, "Yes, there has been no place for us anywhere." I thought, she thought, and then we looked at each other. We had the same idea at the same time, and we both said, "The stable!" Come with me. I grabbed the lantern. We took them to the stable. Now, as I said, our stable is very nice. We do keep it very clean. It is large. It has big stalls. I hung one lantern at the door, and I hung another lantern right there at the large stall. My wife told me, "Get some fresh straw and blankets." I told her, "I am doing that." We built it up very high. We put the blankets down. I even put some new straw and some pieces of blankets into the manger. My wife told me, "Go get them some food. I know there are vegetables and bread left, and there might be some fish if your son did not eat it all." So I went back to the house and I got them some food. As I got back, the man was helping his pregnant lady off the donkey, and my wife was telling them, "I will come back and help you. As soon as we finish cleaning our inn, I will come back, because no lady should have to have her baby on her own." The man and the pregnant lady both looked very relieved, and so we left to go back to our inn to finish cleaning things up. When we got back to our inn, I was very glad that our children are hard workers, because almost everything was done. Dusting a few things and putting the dishes away was all we had to do. My wife turned to me and said, "You will have to take care of things tonight. I am going to go help this lady have her baby." Our youngest came running in. "Mommy, what are you doing? Mommy, what are you doing?" She said, "I am going to help the lady have her baby. You go on to bed, and in the morning you will see a new baby." "Okay, Mommy." We have very good children. Now, to take care of things at night in an inn, it does not usually take very much. Occasionally, one of the guests will need something, and it is nice if you are there to help them. I sat in my chair, and I slept a little. I slept more than a little, because the next thing I knew, my wife was coming in the door telling me, "Oh, he is such a beautiful baby, and he does not cry or fuss so much like other babies do. You must come and see." Come and see a baby? Okay. I went with my wife to go and see this new baby. She went in first, and then I came in, and the lady was holding the baby, and she turned the baby around. I will tell you, that baby looked at me, and I saw something. I saw something very special. This was a baby filled with peace and love. You do not see babies filled with peace and love. They yell and they smell and they scream and they cry and they fuss. But this baby was different. This baby was very peaceful. And I knew that if this was a baby filled with peace and love, that he would grow to be a man filled with peace and love. And I wondered right then, what would become of this baby? My wife and I, we went back to our inn. It was now very late, so we went to sleep. Nobody else should come and bother us. But we were not asleep very long, before there was another knocking at our door, and someone had come to bother us again. Oy, who would bother us at this hour of the night? I said, getting up to go answer the door. Now, I tell you, when you have a business, you have fears. Everyone who has a business has something that they are afraid of. All my fears of all my years of owning an inn were piled up on my front porch that night when I opened the door and there were shepherds! Shepherds on my front porch! Oh God, why did it have to be shepherds? Shepherds are nasty, dirty, smelly people who live with sheep. They will give my inn a bad name. Why are they here? I asked, what do you want? They said, we have come to see the baby that was born in the stable. How did they know a baby was born in my stable? My wife came to the door, and the man said again, an angel from God has told us that a special baby has been born in a stable in Bethlehem, that we will find him lying in a manger, and that he is the Messiah. I did not know if we believed it, but I knew that they believed it. And I knew that there was a baby that had been born in my stable. And I knew that I had to get these shepherds out of here before somebody saw them and my inn got a bad name. So I said, come on. My wife went ahead of us to go to the stable and make sure that everything was okay before we came in. She opened the door and everything was okay. We walked in. I let the shepherds come in. And the baby was lying in the manger. The man got up and he picked up the baby and he took the baby to his mother. And the mother picked the baby up and the shepherds kneeled down before the baby. And they looked up and gave thanks to God for letting them see his deliverer. And then they got up, they nodded to the man and the lady, they nodded back, and then they thanked me. And very quietly, they all left. And I was standing there. And I could not believe what was going on. But I thought to myself, God, did you send your deliverer to be born in my stable? Why would you send your deliverer to be born in the stable? My wife took my hand. I knew she was thinking the same things that I was thinking. It works that way when you have been married for many years. And we left to go back to our inn. And I left with many more questions that night than I had had that morning. Time goes by. Time passes. The years come, the years go by. Our children grew up. My oldest son, he wanted to be an innkeeper like his father, but he did not want to stay at the same inn. He wanted to have his own inn on the far side of Jerusalem. Why, I asked him, why do you want to be so far away? He said, I do not know. I only know that this is what I feel in my heart I must do. My wife and I have taught our children three things: to love and honor God, to love and honor your parents, and to do with all your heart what is on your heart to do. So we went back and forth to Jerusalem many times, and we found a very good piece of property, and he built a very good inn. And now he makes a very good living, and he is happy with his life. I go to visit him sometimes. Our daughters, they married well. One of them married a merchant who spent many nights staying in our inn, and the other married a farmer who came very often to sell his vegetables at our inn. They are both prosperous, they are both very happy, and I am very glad for them. My middle son could make things grow, and he spent his time in our gardens and with our trees and with his sister's farm until he put the money together himself to buy his own farm. And he is doing very well. I just wish I had not spent so much time teaching him how to get the best price for things, because now I am the one who has to pay it. My youngest son, he is still excited to see any visitor. and he is the one who will be taking over the inn from me and his mother when we go on. He is a very sharp businessman. His wife is also a very good cook. So I know that whenever we take a trip, we can take a trip knowing that he will take very good care of our inn. Now, when you take care of travelers, you will hear many stories. And when you hear many stories, you begin to tell the ones that are true from the ones that are not so true. But when you start to hear many stories about the